So how do we change this? What are your thoughts? This is your
Uh,
life's work.
let me just mention another attitude toward
Oh,
infants
okay.
is that they're sometimes called it. This is not done with older children and adults when the sex is not known, only with infants. Also, many assume that what is done to infants is not important and has no long-term effects because they're not sufficiently developed to retain the effects of their early experience. The typical attitude toward infants was perhaps illustrated by an incident a father related to me concerning his 2.5-year-old son. He asked his son to put the milk in the refrigerator. After his son did this, the father, for the first time, thought, he's a real person. My son is a real person. Evidently, it was both his son's understanding of language and his ability to perform a customary physical task that led the father to this realization. But what about the first 2.5 years of his son's life? Apparently, the father had not previously considered his son to be a real person. Infants are real people. They feel deeply and are aware, sensitive, perceptive, and responsive.
Yeah.
All senses are working. They have purposeful movement. Cries are meaningful and can express needs. The behavior of infants is rational, and they are enthusiastic learners. Newborn infants have specific preferences, and they can even evaluate their experience. For example, a professional was contacted by a couple whose infant took hours to nurse. He then learned from the couple that the only time they held the infant was during feeding. His conclusion was that the infant learned this connection and used it to be held. When the parents were made aware of this, they changed their behavior toward the infant, and the infant no longer extended feeding time in order to be held. How about that?
Wow. I mean, we're brilliant. We're brilliant beings, of course. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Here's another cultural value that contributes to our problem. We sometimes have a misplaced focus on the physical.
Yes.
In 1995, premature infants were born in a Massachusetts hospital. They were placed in separate incubators conforming to standard practice in the neonatal intensive care unit. One baby had breathing and heart problems and was not expected to live. A nurse was unsuccessful with attempts to help her. Then she had an idea and placed the critical baby in the incubator with her twin sister, though it violated hospital rules. Immediately, they snuggled together, and the healthier baby placed an arm over her sister in an endearing embrace.
Oh my God.
The weaker baby's heart rate stabilized, and her temperature rose to normal. Providing the weak infant with only technology focused on physical support was not enough. She needed human touch and emotional connection.
Yeah.
A photograph of the twins became famous and was called the rescuing hug.
Wow.
As an example, research on emotional, as another example, research on emotional and behavioral problems is typically focused on biological deficiencies.
Yep.
As I have said, experience changes biology.
Yep.
Mistaken beliefs have misdirected research away from prevention and toward financial rewards. Drug companies seek to provide quick fixes and receive billions of dollars in profits. In addition, maternity care is the largest source of income for hospitals, and cribs and strollers are good for business, but not for young children who need body contact.
Wow.
So we got a lot of work ahead of us.
We do. So what are we going to do, Dr. Goldman? What can we do?
So my recommendations to improve the welfare of children and prevent personal and social problems include natural birth, no circumcision, breastfeeding when the infant chooses, extended maternal body contact for improved bonding by using a baby sling, wrap, or carrier, co-sleeping, prudent later use of non-maternal childcare, and no corporal punishment. Awareness of information associated with these recommendations can help parents make more informed choices in raising their children.
Mhm.
Let's support childcare choices that are consistent with our instincts. Ask 3 valuable questions. Is it natural?
Mm.
If we trust and respect nature, we will not lose our own nature.
Mhm.
Does it satisfy the child's needs? This is required for healthy development.
Yeah.
Third question, does it support the child's bond with the mother? When the bond with the mother is disrupted, the bond with humanity is disrupted. Help from the father, relatives, and friends is important, but the mother is primary.
Wow. I just saw something in like neon light. When the bond with the mother is disrupted, the bond with humanity is disrupted.
Yep.
Wow. Like, wow. Mic drop. That